Now that we have a better understanding of how the recovery packages will be structured, it's time to review, download, and print all the recovery instructions and additional information we will include in the recovery packages. Let's get started. Let's get into the details of each folder in this recovery instructions folder that we just unzipped and opened. So we'll start with the items descriptions. Let's open it, and as you can see, we'll have an items description for each kind of envelope. For the instructions envelope, the passphrase, the seeds, the signing device, and the wallet descriptor. So let's first start with the instructions envelope. So for each of all these items, all of these documents, you'll find a version as point ODT and another as point PDF. And the goal is for you to be able to modify this one or to be able to print this one directly if you don't want to make any modifications. So to review them, I'll open the PDF file. So as you can see, this is a simple A5 or half letter sheet, and all of the recovery instructions will be made in this format so that they fit the envelopes. So we'll read it and you'll see that it's very simple. The idea is to present what is inside each envelope, and this one is for the recovery instructions. In this green envelope, you'll find all the information you need to recover and use the Bitcoin safe that the vault owner left to the heirs. Then you have an items list with everything that will be inside the envelope, and then you have a word of warning. The configuration of the Bitcoin Vault may seem old and outdated when you try to access it. Today's tools, devices, and applications are probably quite different from those I propose to use in these instructions. Nevertheless, the safe remains ultra secure. As long as the various packages in the safe have been guarded and protected to this day, you can continue to use the safe to store Bitcoin. There is no urgent need to remove funds from the safe. The most important thing is to follow these instructions. Never share the seeds and passphrase, which are highly confidential information, with anyone other than the owner and the heirs. Always keep the seeds and the passphrase disconnected from the internet and offline. You'll see that these warnings will be very present in all of the recovery instructions. It is to make sure that the heirs understand the risks of not following the instructions and to make sure that they understand what it is all about. So this is the item description for the instructions envelope. Let's continue with the one for the passphrase. So it's the same principle. We have a list of all the items in the envelope and a word of warning. Whoever has access to the passphrase will have access to part of the Bitcoin vault. Always keep the passphrase highly confidential. Never share the passphrase with anyone other than the vault owner and the heirs. Before that, we have a quick introduction of what the passphrase is and how it's meant to be used. Unlike seeds, the passphrase does not have a fingerprint because although it has the same format as a seed, it is not used as a seed but as a modifier of each seed. In this Bitcoin vault, adding the passphrase to the seeds prevents the seeds guardians from collaborating and taking funds out of the vault without permission. Without the passphrase, it is impossible to sign transactions out of the safe. Only the owner and the heirs have access to the passphrase. And this will be like this for all the items description. You can review them, you can modify them, you can adapt them to your own situation. If you've decided to modify the setup to better fit your personal situation, you can then modify all the recovery instructions to fit the new situation. So then we'll continue with the recovery packages content. And as previously stated, we'll have three types of documents for this recovery packages content, because the owner will have a different recovery package than the heirs and the guardians. So let's start with the owner. And as you see, in the recovery package content document, you have a list of everything that is inside the package. So you'll have a black envelope with the seeds, and it states that it is highly confidential, with a list of things that you should do or should not do, like never share with anyone but the owner and the heir, never take a picture of them, never load on any internet connected device, always keep protected and secure, always keep offline and disconnected from the internet. Same thing with the red envelope that contains the passphrase. Then an orange envelope for the wallet descriptor. It must be loaded into an internet connected device. Anyone that has access to the wallet descriptor can know private information about the wallet, such as total balance, but can't spend from the wallet. And then only share with the owner and the heirs. And then a violet envelope for the signing device. And this will be mostly the same for the heirs and the guardians, except that for the recovery packages content for the heirs, you won't have the seed, and for the guardians, you won't have the passphrase nor the signing device. Let's continue with the recovery packages distribution. We have already seen it before. It is here, it was already open. So this will help the heirs understand how the packages are distributed, what they have in their possession, what they have to find in order to sign a transaction, which are the seeds. Then we have the vol description. Let's continue with the vol description. Again, you have it as a modifiable file, or you have it in PDF. So this is the vol description. It has two parts. It's a description of what the vault is all about. The Bitcoin Vault is composed of the following elements: 5 seeds, a passphrase, the wallet descriptor, and an offline signing device. The 5 signing keys form the highly confidential part of the Bitcoin Vault. They are the combination of each seed and the passphrase. The signing keys serve to sign outgoing transactions from the vault. They must always remain disconnected from the internet and never be shared with anyone else than the owner and the heirs. Again, we read the same thing over and over again, but it's really necessary to make sure that the heirs understand the risks with sharing the seeds and the passphrase on the internet or to anyone outside from the heirs and the owner. And then you have an explanation of how the vault works, a couple of definitions with signing keys, public keys, wallet descriptor, signing device, and then where the seeds are stored. And so what you can do is modify the document directly to include the location, or you can print it and then write it with a pen directly on the paper before plastifying it. That's up to you. And then you have a warning about the highly confidential nature of the seeds and the passphrase again. After that, we have two different flowcharts that will be really helpful when it comes to following the guides that we'll later present. So the first one will be the wallet regeneration flowchart. Again, you have it in PDF, PNG, and its original format in the draw.io format. So we'll open the PDF file again, and this is the wallet regeneration flowchart that allows you to recreate the wallet descriptor. So as you can see, we have one side of the diagram that is connected to the internet, semi-public and not secured. In this environment, we have the dedicated laptop with the wallet management interface in the laptop. And in the other side of the diagram, we have the highly confidential, offline, protected, and secured environment with the seeds and the passphrase and the signing device. So let's follow the steps to regenerate the wallet for the Vault. So first of all, in the wallet management interface, we are missing the wallet descriptor. So we have to recreate it. So for that, we'll create a new multi-signature 3 of 5 wallet in the interface. Once we have that, we'll load seed 1 in the signing device and verify the fingerprint without passphrase. Then we'll load the passphrase in the signing device and verify the fingerprint with the passphrase. That will form the signing key 1, and from it we will derive the public key 1 in the signing device. Once we have that, we'll export the public key in the signing device. It will be displayed as a QR code, and we will scan this QR code with the laptop and the wallet management interface. That will load the public key inside this new multi-signature 3 of 5 wallet. We'll repeat the process with all the public keys. That means loading seed 2 in the signing device and the passphrase, verifying the fingerprints, deriving public key 2 from signing key 2, scanning public key 2 with the wallet management interface, doing that with signing key 3, 4, and 5. And only once we have all of the public keys loaded in the wallet management interface, we can create the multi-signature 3 of 5 wallet in the interface. And by doing that, we'll effectively be recreating the same wallet. Once we have created the wallet, we'll back up the wallet descriptor again, because this is a pain to do. And this is why we have created backups of the wallet descriptor to include in each recovery package. That means that unless something is really going wrong in the distribution of the recovery packages, or that maybe one of the heirs doesn't have immediately access to the wallet descriptor, only in this case they will have to recreate the whole wallet from all the signing keys. Otherwise, they'll just have to scan the wallet descriptor QR code, load the wallet in the interface, and be ready to go. So this is for the wallet regeneration flowchart. Let's continue with the transaction signing flowchart. As you can see, we have the same diagram with a couple of differences. We still have this public environment and this highly confidential environment. The steps will be slightly different because we're not trying to achieve the same goal. In this case, we have the wallet descriptor already loaded in the wallet management interface. So the goal here is to create a transaction, sign it, and broadcast it. So the first step is to create an unsigned transaction in the interface. Then we'll export this unsigned transaction from the interface to the offline signing device via a QR code. So we'll display a QR code in the wallet management interface and scan it with the offline signing device. Once we've done that, we'll load seed 1 in the signing device and verify the fingerprint. We'll then load the passphrase in the signing device and verify the fingerprint with the passphrase. That will form signing key 1 that we'll use to sign the transaction with the signing key 1 in the signing device. Once we have the partially signed transaction, we can scan it again with the wallet management interface, and it will appear in the interface as having one signature. And we'll have to repeat the signing process, the exact same process with 2 more signing keys. That means exporting the unsigned transaction into the offline signing device again, this time load seed2, for example, and the passphrase. Sign the transaction with the signing key 2 and scan again the partially signed transaction with the interface. That will give us two signatures. We'll have to do it once more with seed 3, seed 4, or seed 5, and then we'll have the three necessary signatures for our transaction to be valid. Once it's valid, we just have to push the button and broadcast the transaction to the Bitcoin network, which is displayed as this dotted line. And that's it. This is how to sign a transaction. This is just the flow chart. We'll then take a look at the guides that will explain how to do that in more details. So let's begin with the first guide, which is regenerating the vault with the wallet descriptor. So this one doesn't have a flowchart associated with it. The wallet regeneration flowchart will be helpful for the guide 2, which is regenerating the wallet descriptor with the public keys, and guide 3, which is spending from the vault. So let's begin with guide 1. So all the guides begin with the necessary items and where to find them. So in this case, the wallet descriptor is present in the orange envelope in each recovery package. The wallet management interface app can be downloaded on your computer or your phone. I suggest you use Sparrow Wallet on a computer or Blue Wallet on a phone. Again, all of this you can adapt to your own preferences. There's a slight warning that says that these apps might be obsolete by the time you read the instructions. Regardless of the application you choose, the process remains the same. Again, if we take into account that the people that will read the instructions will do so in probably 10, 15, or 20 years, we have to acknowledge that the tools will greatly change by this point in time. So what we want to do is give a procedure that is universal, that they can understand, even though they probably won't be using the same tools, because the process will mostly be the same, right? You want to separate the highly confidential information from the connected to internet devices. And so the question is, how do you do the bridge between the two? And this is with a signing device. So the logic is the same. The instructions have to be universal so that they can follow them, even though they will probably not be using a seed signer anymore or this kind of wallet interfaces. And so for this first guide, the procedure is really simple. It's download a wallet management interface. Again, we don't say which one they have to download. We just suggest that in our case, we would be using Sparrow Wallet and Blue Wallet. And they would import the existing wallet by scanning the QR code present on the wallet descriptor item. So you would have only to scan the QR code of the wallet descriptor and it would be loaded in the interface. It would be as easy as that. And then we have a small explanation. We have access to the transactions made to and from the vault with the wallet descriptor. But we won't be able to create outgoing transactions without signing them with the signing keys on the offline signing device, and this is the subject of Guide 3. Let's continue now with Guide 2, which is regenerating the wallet descriptor with the public keys. This guide is a bit longer. It has two parts. That means 2 sheets of paper. It begins with a warning there is a copy of the wallet descriptor in each recovery package in the orange envelope. It allows you to easily regenerate the vault in any wallet management interface, and you can do it following the first guide. And the idea is that if the recovery packages were correctly secured and protected, you shouldn't have to follow this guide. So that means that the only reason they would be following this guide is if they had lost the wallet descriptor envelope and that they couldn't access another one. So in the event that you don't have access to the wallet descriptor anymore for whatever reason, you'll have to regenerate it from the 5 public keys. And this is more or less the same thing that is outlined in the wallet regeneration flowchart. You have a small reminder. Each public key is derived from its corresponding signing key. Each signing key is the combination of the seeds and the passphrase. Then we have the necessary items, the wallet management interface, the internet connected device, the 5 seeds, the passphrase, and the signing device. Again, we suggest using Sparrow Wallet and Blue Wallet, and we then explain that, again, the tools might be obsolete. There is this added explanation of where you can purchase the signing device. You can assemble it yourself. You can purchase it assembled as well. And in our case, we use Seed Signer as the signing device. And then on the second page, you have the procedure, which is the same as in the flowchart. So you create the new multi-signature wallet in the wallet management interface. You load the seed one, you load the passphrase, you export the public key from the signing key, you scan it with the wallet management interface, and you repeat the operation for each of the 5 public keys to create the wallet. And once you have that, you can access the Bitcoin Vault. It's again reminded that you would need to back up the wallet descriptor again, so you don't have to recreate the vault every time you change computers, for example. And you can use the wallet regeneration flowchart as a guide. So this is guide 2, and we'll finish with guide 3, spending from the vault. Again, we begin with a warning, and the warning states that we'll assume that the wallet descriptor is already loaded in the wallet management interface. If that's not the case, follow the first guide. We have a reminder: an outgoing transactions to be valid requires 3 signatures from 3 of the 5 signing keys. Then we have the necessary items, the interfaces that we suggest using, and some instructions before starting the procedure. And on the second page, we have the actual procedure, which is the same as in the corresponding flowchart. You have to first create the unsigned transaction in the wallet management interface. Then you have to scan its QR code with the signing device, load seed one, load the passphrase, sign the transaction with the signing key one, and then scan the partially signed transactions QR code again from the interface, and repeat this operation with 2 more signing keys. And once you have that, you can broadcast the transaction to the Bitcoin network via the wallet management interface. Again, you can use the transaction signing flowchart as a guide. And then you have a last word. Congratulations, you now know how to create, sign, and send a transaction from the Bitcoin Vault. Don't spend it all. And this is it. We have all the recovery instructions in there to make it sure that the heirs understand. At some point, it's going to take time, of course, but they'll have a complete picture of what we built and how to interact with the vault that we've built. That's it. Now that we have everything printed, let's do a brief review of all the documents we have before plastifying them. So we can take the recovery packages distribution document and use it to guide us for the review. So first of all, we have the items description in each envelope, and we'll have them right here. So as you can see, we have wallet descriptor envelope, hardware envelope, instructions envelope, passphrase envelope, and seed envelope. So for each of them, we have several copies, and it will depend on the number of times we'll find them in the packages. So for example, for the seed, we'll have one copy for seed 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And as you can see, we have them right here. We have seed 1, seed 2, seed 3, seed 4, and seed 5. So the item descriptions documents are the ones that will be in each envelope as a description of every item present in the envelope. All the rest of the documents will be in the recovery instructions envelope. And so this is what we'll review now. So first we have the vault description, which is right here. And as you can see, we have part 1, part 2, and we made 7 copies of it. Then we have the recovery package content. This is a summary of all the envelopes present in each recovery package. As you can see, we have different contents for the 4 guardians, the 2 heirs, and the owner. And so for the guardians, we have 4 copies. For the heirs, we have 2. And for the owner, we have only 1. Then we have the recovery packages distribution. This is what I'm holding right now. We have made 8 copies of it for each of the recovery instructions envelopes. We'll only need 7, but again, this is the only way I could find to put 2 on each page is to do 1.1 and do 4 times, so it makes 8 copies. Then we have the wallet regeneration flowchart, which is right here. This is this one. And again, we made 8 copies of it, even though we'll only need 7. Then we have the transaction signing flowchart, which is this one. And again, we have 8 copies. And then we have guide 1, 2, and 3. So guide 1 is only 1 page. So again, we made 8 copies of it, even though we'll need only 7. For guide 2 and guide 3, which are 2 pages, we made 7 copies of each. And the thing is that when we plastify that, we can, instead of cutting it in half, we can just fold it in half and use the same plastifying sheet for the 2 sides of the guide. And we'll do the same thing for guide 3. So that's it, we have everything, we're ready to plastify. Before that, we're gonna cut everything in half except for the 2 guides and for the vault description as well, which is 2 parts, so we can just fold it and then plastify it at once. And that's it, let's get started. Okay, here we are. We have plastified everything, cut it in half because I use A4, letter size plastifying papers. we have everything ready. We can verify that we're not missing anything. Um, we'll begin with the recovery packages distribution. We have 7 copies of it, and we can follow it again to make sure we have all the right documents for the items description of each envelope, and then all the recovery instructions for the recovery instructions envelope as well. So in the items description for the seed, we have seed 1, seed 2, seed 3, seed 4, seed 5. So that's okay. Then we have, let's continue in the order of the envelopes as they appear here. So passphrase, we have 3 copies for each of the envelopes. Then we have wallet descriptor, we have 7 copies for each envelope. And then we have the recovery instructions envelope, we have 7 copies as well for each envelope. And hardware envelope, 3 copies for each. And so these will go in each envelope. And now we'll continue with all the documents, all the items of the recovery instructions envelope. So we'll begin with vault description, which is here. So as I shared earlier, what I did is I did it recto verso, both sides of the plastifying sheet. And so we have 7 copies. This is great because it saves us laminating sheets. Then we have the recovery packages content. Here again we have 7. We have 1 for the owner, 2 for the heirs, and 4 for the guardians. So that's okay. Then we have the flowcharts. What I did is I put 1 flowchart on each side of the paper. That way it saves us paper and it makes it clear that they're related. One is for regenerating the wallet and the other is for signing transactions. So again, we have 7 copies. Each of the items of the recovery instructions envelope has 7 copies. And then guide 1, same thing. We have 7 copies of the guide. We have 7 copies of guide 2 as well. This time it's both sides, like the vault description, and same thing for guide 3. 7 copies, and it's both sides. We now have everything we need. Our recovery packages are ready to be assembled. And this is what we're going to do next. Get some rest, and I'll see you in the next video.